and welcome to our newscast on the BU News Service site. I'm Valerie Wences. Leading the news at this hour, this morning, Massachusetts teachers are eligible to sign up for COVID vaccinations through the CVS Pharmacy website. BU News Service reporter Bart Tachi reports that this is part of a stepped-up effort to vaccinate teachers by the end of March.
In an effort to streamline our process and to limit the amount of confusion between federal eligibility guidelines and state eligibility guidelines, and to coordinate with the feds, we're announcing that educators, early educators, and school staff will be eligible to begin signing up for vaccine appointments starting on March 11th, which is next week.
Sorry.
The mayor of Gloucester couldn't contain herself when Governor Baker announced teachers would be eligible for the vaccine. Teachers will be eligible starting Monday, March 11th, for the vaccine at state-run vaccination centers. This comes on the heels of President Biden's announcement that all teachers would be vaccinated by the end of the month.
We want every educator, school staff member, child care worker to receive at least one shot by the end of the month of March.
As you can see here on the CVS website, if I'm a teacher, I can sign up for a vaccine. If you're confused, that's okay, so is I. CVS is a part of the federal government's federal pharmacy program. This is different from the state's program. All of this depends on the federal government doing its part by supplying the vaccines. Thanks, Valerie.
The push to vaccinate teachers is part of a stepped-up drive to vaccinate all American adults against COVID by the end of May. President Biden announced the new deadline yesterday while announcing an unusual deal to ramp up production of one of the vaccines. The drug manufacturer Merck will help its competitor Johnson & Johnson by producing its single-dose vaccine. Biden predicts that this stepped-up production will mean there will be enough supply to vaccinate every adult in America by the end of May. While President Biden expedites vaccinations, some states are loosening COVID restrictions. Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced that his state will lift its mask requirement and that businesses will reopen at full capacity next week. This executive order will forbid local authorities from penalizing residents who do not wear face coverings.
I know everybody's anxious, I'm anxious, but I think a few more weeks, month, maybe whatever the number may be, shouldn't hurt anybody.
Woohoo! I'm about done with masks.
I'm stunned. This is going to explode community spread, and right in the midst of these variants that are coming, it is the wrong decision and it's dangerous.
States including Michigan, Louisiana, and Mississippi have also ended their mask mandates. This conflicts with the CDC's warning that a potential fourth coronavirus surge could occur if states become complacent about taking precautions. Another holiday, another warning. This time it's about St. Patrick's Day, which is coming up later this month. The CDC is asking people to avoid gathering at parties to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. The annual parades are canceled both here in Boston and Chicago. The CDC is also asking people to avoid travel on this holiday and to maintain guidelines to avoid spreading COVID. Authorities are investigating a major rocket attack on U.S. troops at an airbase in Iraq. U.S. forces have located the rocket launcher used to fire 10 rockets at the Ain al-Assad base in a rural area northwest of Baghdad. There is no information yet on whether there are any casualties because of the attack. A 6.3 earthquake hit central Greece this morning. Local officials report some structural damage, but no injuries. Several aftershocks hit the area, the strongest having a preliminary magnitude of 5.0. The European Union imposed travel bans on the 4 Russian officials over the arrest and alleged poisoning of a political foe of President Vladimir Putin. The Biden administration also responded to Alexei Navalny's attempted assassination by issuing its first sanctions against the Russian government. The administration declassified a report blaming the Russian intelligence agency for organizing the poisoning. A Pentagon watchdog reports the ex-White House doctor made sexual comments, drank, and took the sleeping pill Ambien while on the job. Ronnie Jackson rejects these allegations and says they're politically motivated due to his support of Donald Trump. These findings come from an investigation opened in 2018 by the Inspector General. There are a growing number of calls for New York Governor Andrew Cuomo to resign after reports of sexual harassment. Governor Cuomo is accused of sexual harassment by 3 women, 2 of them former staffers for him. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio, a member of Cuomo's own party, had this comment.
These are disqualifying realities. How can anyone look the people in the face after that? If these allegations, if these charges are proven, there's just no way he can govern.
In Albany, New York's capital, a billboard can even be seen calling for Cuomo's resignation. Coming up on our newscast, the investigation into the crash that killed 13 people in Southern California. And women are celebrated at one local bookstore. Those stories and more when we return.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We had this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet,
We discover
they're a little bit of a lot of things,
But they're all pure love.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Oh boy.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Welcome back to our newscast with BU News Service. Authorities are continuing to investigate the SUV crash that left at least 13 people dead near the US-Mexico border in California on Tuesday. A Ford Expedition that normally seats 8 passengers was packed with 25 people when it was struck by a semi-truck. At least 10 of the victims were Mexican citizens. Authorities are still investigating whether human smuggling was involved in the crash.
It would be premature of me to speculate on what happened at this collision. The important thing is that 13 people died in this crash.
The driver of the semi-truck is injured and several of the SUV passengers remain hospitalized. Cambridge police report 2 construction workers were injured this morning when a stairwell collapsed in a parking garage. One Boston leader pushes for construction safety after a tragedy on site in the financial district last week. 2 construction workers, Jordan Romero and Juan Carlos Figueroa Gutierrez, were killed on High Street when a truck hit them into an excavated ditch.
We're going to get answers from this hearing and make sure we can provide a roadmap going forward on how we can make sure sites are protected and safe.
The City and Occupational Safety and Health Administration are still investigating the financial district incident. A council meeting about site protocols and safety will be held at noon Wednesday with a possible hearing next month. Women's History Month honors and encourages learning about the key role women play in this country. Sierra Sorrentino reports that a local bookstore, Brookline Booksmiths, plans to spotlight these historical female contributors.
Brookline Booksmith, an independently owned bookstore, is a hub of curiosity. Lydia McOsker, assistant buyer, says they strive to highlight inclusivity. This is particularly shown in their selections for Women's History Month, which showcases women of color, trans women, and the hardships they overcame and continue to face.
Specifically for Women's History Month, we have a new display of books in the store, and we're going to be making a collection for our website. I would like for there to be a time where we are so gender inclusive a society that Women's History Month is kind of a moot point because it's as equally celebrated and recognized. There's so much that a book has to offer, and you have nothing to lose by reading, but also just seeking out an album composed by a woman, or a video game created by a woman, or a perfume crafted by a woman. Any kind of medium really is going to enrich your life, and I like this one a lot, and I can recommend some specific books that you will enjoy.
McOsker's top author picks for this month are Saadia Hartman, Svetlana Alexievich, and Toni Morrison. On March 15th, Brookline Booksmith will host a panel discussion with the 5 female author nominees for the Mary Higgins Clark Award. Reporting for BU News Service, I'm Sierra Sorrentino.
The Boston's mayor office opens nominations for the Extraordinary Women Award, which is open to all self-identifying women and honors their contributions to the city. This award was created in 2018, and the winner will get a feature in the mayor's newsletter and on social media. Still to come, the latest weather forecast for the first week of March, and find out whether the Celtics won what the team's coach calls one of the most critical games of the season. Those stories and more.
I hear someone go, "Didn't it come from you guys?"
Strangers cough at me.
Move away from me.
Someone spit towards my direction. All the stereotypes that we've worked so hard to break are just going to be reversed. And I won't let that happen.
We all have to play our part.
I donate my plasma.
I've been making masks.
We deserve respect as much as everybody else.
I'm a firefighter, not a virus.
I'm a mask maker, not a virus.
I'm a nurse.
I'm a delivery woman, chef, a neighbor, artist,
Bus driver.
I'm a doctor.
Fight the virus. Fight the virus.
Hey, chat. Why do I wear a mask? Because when I'm not behind the screen, my mask is my cheat code. And when we stop the spread, we level up. What's the next level? Hanging with friends again. You're right, masks have always been a part of our community. I miss you guys too. Being face to face is truly the next level. Here's the cheat code. Stop the spread of corona. Mask up, America.
Extreme winds swept through Massachusetts yesterday, reaching speeds up to 76 miles per hour on the Cape last night. Laura Stickles has the full weather report for us. Laura, should we be bracing for more of the same today?
Valerie, you should expect some more wind, but not nearly to the extent of what we saw yesterday. 20-mile-per-hour gusts lingered in Bedford this morning, but the wind will continue to die down. And to make up for that bad weather yesterday, some warm air is coming in from the Midwest and is warming up New England today. Temperatures will reach 48 degrees in Norwood and New Bedford, and we will get clear skies and a high of 46 degrees in Boston. Tomorrow, the wind is supposed to pick up again slightly, and we'll have partly cloudy skies and a high of 40 degrees in Boston. But a cold front is coming back through Friday. Temperatures will drop down to that low 20s and 30s and should stay that way through the weekend. And although the sun will be out on Saturday and Sunday, temperatures won't start warming up again until next week. But we do have a high of 54 degrees next Tuesday that we can look forward to.
Thanks, Laura. And I can't help but smile to see that there is no precipitation in that 7-day forecast, especially considering what we just experienced in February. More than 3,000 daily record cold temperatures were set in the US last month. 79 of those were all-time cold records. But meanwhile, much of the rest of the world saw record highs. In recent decades, record highs have been twice as frequent as record lows, and human-caused climate change continues to push the global temperature average higher. February was cold, but March is heating up for the men in green. Daphne Mark has more on the Celtics hot streak.
Thanks, Val. The Celtics won their game against the LA Clippers last night. Jaylen Brown was hot off the bench, helping the Celtics win their third game in a row in the last week. The game was a close contest, but thanks to a 9-point run late in the fourth, the Celtics beat the Clippers 117-112. Boston secured a much-needed victory after a difficult February, muscling their way into a positive record again.
They've stayed together when they easily could have been pulled apart by the noise. And I think you have to be able to resist that when you're at this level and you're going through the roller coaster of a season.
Jason Tatum had quite the night, ending the game with 14 points. The Celtics play the Toronto Raptors tomorrow at 7 in the last game before the All-Star break. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown will face each other in the three-point contest during the 2021 NBA All-Star Weekend in Atlanta this Sunday. The Celtic Stars will compete against the league's best shooters, including Golden State Warriors star Steph Curry and Utah Jazz guard Donovan Mitchell. Tatum and Brown will test their shooting skills before playing in the All-Star game on the same night. Boston University hosted an online webinar on the role that sports can play in the anti-racism movement. BU News Service's Laura Stickles has more.
Boston University's College of Communications hosted an online webinar last week about the intersection of sports and race and how to push last summer's anti-racism movement forward. BU alum and women's basketball coach Marissa Mosley says it's important to remember that everyone's voice matters.
We all have platforms. I think oftentimes there's a misnomer that unless you're famous or you have a blue check, you can't necessarily comment or try to affect change. And I don't subscribe to that. I really believe that we all have platforms because we all have voices and we all have the opportunity to have conversations, and that's our responsibility. If you know more, you do more. If you know better, you do better.
ESPN Senior Vice President and BU alum Kevin Merida emphasized the importance of bringing more people of color into positions of power.
The more you get into the senior leaderships of America, anywhere you are, the more you realize how that is literally everything. The ability to make the decisions, the final decisions or close to the finals is literally everything. That's how we really change the whole landscape of this country.
The entire webinar is available online at the BU alumni website. Reporting for BU News Service, I'm Laura Stickles.
And we wish Coach Mosley and her team good luck at the first round of the Patriot League tournament this weekend. They will be taking on Lafayette in the quarterfinals at 2 p.m. on Sunday. The Bruins will play against one of their own tonight. This is Zdeno Chara's first time playing at TD Garden since leaving the Bruins at the end of last season. Chara is the Boston hockey team's former captain and played with the Bruins for more than a decade before moving to the Washington Capitals. Chara says that history will not impact how he plays tonight.
The environment, it's something that I was very close with for many years. But I think that we all have to realize that once the puck is dropped, you really have to focus what's going on, inside the glass.
Chara will return to the Garden later this week when the Bruins host the Capitals again on Friday. Tom Brady disclosed the details of his infamous Lombardi Trophy toss on The Late Late Show. A viral video shows the Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback throwing the trophy between boats at the Super Bowl parade last month. Brady revealed to host James Corden that he doesn't really remember the incident. Brady says his daughter was the only sensible person in the parade.
Whose voice is it that you hear say, no? Can you, there's somebody shouts, no, don't do it.
That's my little 8-year-old daughter. Daddy, no!
Oh, no.
And who could imagine that an 8-year-old girl would have the most sense of anybody in that whole area at the time? She's the voice of reason. I mean, go figure.
Brady admitted that if his toss was not caught, the trophy would have sunk 80 feet to the bottom of the Hillsborough River. The Red Sox won their first game of spring training against the Tampa Rays in Florida yesterday. Regular season baseball games are scheduled to begin on April 1st. And the BU women's hockey team season is over after their loss to Providence yesterday at the Hockey East quarterfinals. Back to you, Val.
You might share the same name as an ancestor, but what about a business? Reporter Jeremy Roth has this story about a California teenager who shares the same name as a bank.
Chase Banks and Chase Bank are friends now because Chase Bank helped Chase Banks out after Chase Bank was contacted by Chase Banks because he's constantly compared to Chase Bank. Everybody confused? Okay, follow me through here. This California teen's name is Chase Banks, almost identical to that of the National Financial Institution, a fact his friends won't let him forget.
They'll send me pictures on Snapchat of the bank and stuff. They're like, hey, look, it's your house and stuff like that.
After his family reached out to the bank about getting Chase a Chase bumper sticker for his birthday, the bank did Banks one better, sending a mascot with a box full of Chase swag and birthday goodies.
I thought it was crazy, there's a dog at my door.
Banks said the bank's birthday box was a nice surprise, and he reportedly kept the party going later on by getting himself a birthday tattoo of the Chase Bank, Banks logo.
You gotta wonder where that young man will start a checking account. And that's it for our newscast this Wednesday. I'm Valerie Wences. Thanks for watching and have a great day.